Welcome back. As you can see, it's a beautiful morning. I'm in the boat. I'm out for walleye. Walleye is open. Water is warming. Things are happy. Birds are chirping. And yeah, so we're out in the boat. I just did a big rip up to where I am. And yeah, kind of the plans I had for this video aren't gonna turn out like I was hoping it would. You never know. It might still be okay. I am going to do a breakdown to jigging in current and how I go about it and the tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way. First, I'm gonna fish a couple spots that aren't in current and explain a few things. Hopefully catch a couple fish. Then I'm gonna move into some current and put those tips into practice. Hopefully catch a couple more fish. And yeah, so without further ado, let's get into this video. Now, it's important to learn what bottom contact looks like. So in this comm section, I'm just gonna demonstrate watching your line. See how that pulls through the water, right? And then as soon as it hits bottom, so it's pulling, boom, bottom, jig it. See how it's pulling it? Boom, bottom. It's pulling it. Get comfortable with seeing what bottom contact looks like when it's calm before you take things to current. When you have other factors involved, get used to what it looks like in a nice calm section. Okay, when I jig it, it pulls the line, kind of comes up here, boom, bottom. And get used to how that's looking. Because when you take it to current, it's another factor in how to watch your line. There's another added movement. You have a sideways cross motion or coming to you or pulling away from you. Second to your jig falling. So get used to what your jig looks like falling and how it interacts with the bottom. So yeah, now that we're in current, watch your line as it falls. It's also coming with you there, boom, stopped. You don't want it to be swept away by the current. Make your cast at a 45. Watch it as it's falling. Don't let it sit too long or it'll get swept away. And just wait for the bites. I love a free fall. I don't like to have my jigs fall on a taut line. If it's a taut line, I think you affect the, well, one, the speed of the fall, the reaction bite that you're hoping to get. And it doesn't look as natural, in my opinion. I mean, jigging's not really the most natural thing anyway, but I love just the free fall. Don't let it fall on a taut line. There we go. First beautiful walleye, or sorry, second beautiful walleye actually. This one's about 14 and a half inches. So at this time of year, there actually is a slot. So this is a perfect keeper right now in this early season. I believe they gotta be 15.7 or less. So this one, little 14 incher, beauty. Look at that, right on. Let's get a few more. This spot in particular is one of my favorites. There's a big current push and there's kind of a rock shoal and an island over here. So you can kind of get tucked in behind and you're in a little bit of an eddy and you can stay out of the current and cast to the edge, and that's where these fish are, right on the edge, in and out of that current, feeding. And super cool, super nice fish. Let's get a few more for the pan. That's a beauty. Maybe get a couple big ones, let them go, catch and release. But for now, beautiful little walleye. Well, as you can see, sun is high in the sky and today did not pan out how I expected it to. We got a lot of wind yesterday, like 60-kilometer-hour winds yesterday, and the river's dirty. Like the main current areas is like 2 feet visibility. The back bays and stuff is about 5 foot visibility, and I think just the weather yesterday's got the fish turned off. So I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna be back out, gonna finish this video off. So here we go, rolling into the next day. Welcome back. As you can see from my tired look, it's early in the morning and we're out on the river for walleye. So about a week or two ago I was out here and I plead defeat. The fish were not cooperating. I was trying to explain how to jig in current, essentially like a pro. Jigging current like a pro and catch walleyes. Well, I think I did an okay job of explaining what I look for in how I'm jigging. So just a quick little recap. Watch your line. Learn what it looks like when your jig pulls your line through the water and then hitting bottom. And I would learn that in calm water, non-current, flat, calm, no current, and just see what it looks like to you. Like when your jig's pulling your line, there's kind of a visual aspect to it. Now, when you're in current, you're gonna have that same pulling of your line, but when it hits bottom, you're gonna have about a half second before it looks like your line's pulling again, because you've hit bottom and then the current is now pulling your line, not your jig. So there's a bit of a look to it. So hopefully I explained that okay. Now we just basically have to catch some fish. So that's what I'm out here to do this morning. Catch some fish, see what happens. Hopefully they're biting. Last time I was here, the water was super muddy, but the day before we had some really crazy winds. So I think it was just muddied up and I don't think the fish were feeding. Now we're about a week and a half later, so I'm hoping that now the fish want to cooperate. Yeah, so let's do it. We'll do it's a nice calm morning right now, so maybe I'll explain again, little once over, repeat what I had already mentioned before. But yeah, watch your line, learn what your line's doing, and yeah, catch some fish. Bottom contact is key. That's everything. Don't let your bait sit there. When you let your bait sit, the current can sweep it underneath some rocks. So you want to, as soon as it hits, you want to pop it right away. But yeah, let's catch some fish. Let's do it. So if this spot looks familiar, last time I was fishing over here because the water and current were so high, I couldn't get into fish where I want to fish. Now, week and a half later, one, the water's warmer, but two, the current has kind of subsided to a manageable, fishable speed. So that is the plan. We're gonna try to catch some walleyes right in here. There's current coming in there, and there's current coming in here. And with kind of the little islands, the little rocks that stick up, make some good eddies. So that's kind of where they're gonna be, tucked in behind that. And I know right in here is a good 20-25 feet, so it's a nice little hole. This is probably my all-time favorite jig. The Ned Head 1/4 ounce. It's a medium wire hook, nice and firm, nice and strong. And the Crush City in like the shad pattern. Wonderful, wonderful jig. It's perfect size, perfect color. Claris, Sedona reel. Favorite setup. Beauty. Right on. Oh, and he popped out. But there's a slot basically to let all the big ones go right now. So this fish is a keeper. So yeah, I think I'm gonna keep them. If they're biting, why not? Beautiful fish. Yeah, right on. First walleye of the morning on the jig, Crush City, beauty. Let's try to replicate that and do that again. All right, on to spot 2. First spot, not too bad, 2 fish, 1 keeper, 1 little one. We're gonna move on to bigger and better things. The sun has just broke the trees, and in this dirty water, that normally means the fish should be a little bit more active. So hopefully that's the case today, and we'll be in spot number 2 in a short minute.
Yeah, good one.
There we go, second beauty of the day. Another keeper. I'm on spot 3. Not for the lack of fish, but for the lack of size. So finally got into a nice one. Beautiful. Good one for the pan.
There. Look at that one. Yeah, he's too big.
There we go, another beauty. Back to back. This one's a little bit big for the slot right now. They gotta be less than 15.7. So my 2 other ones are less than 15.7. This one's about 17 inches. I'm gonna let them go.
Oh yeah, there's a big one. Ooh, missed him. There, got him. Beauty. Oh, popped out.
There is a beauty right there. Probably about a 20 incher. Look at that beauty right there. Choked the crushed city. Beautiful morning gold. Nice big one. I'm gonna let her on the release. Look at that. What a beauty. Getting into some fish. We finally found the nice ones. Look at that. Wow. Yes. Right on. So let's break down the spot that I'm in. So, all right, as you can see, There's a big rock point here. The current comes ripping around, and I'm in this, like, I'm right tight to shore. I'm 10 feet away, and I'm casting right here. You can see the currents going. You can see the current going, and I'm casting right here in this little eddy. And yeah, fish are stacking up. Now, I don't know if it's something to note or not, but I did snap off and I switched to a yellow jig head. Still with the Crush City fluke style bait. It's the Jerk. So, I don't know if it's the yellow jig head standing out in this water, or I finally found a spot with some fish, but feels good to catch a couple. So what I'm doing basically is I'm casting about 10 or 15 feet into the current, letting my jig get swept, and then popping it back to the boat. And it's like they're right on this current edge, which is awesome. They're not too deep, probably about 10 to 15 feet, and rocks. But I think the biggest thing is the current. If you can find current, you're gonna find walleyes. Now, I don't think this spot is a secret by no means. It's a pretty publicized spot. So if you know where I am, don't blow it up in the comments, but you know where I am. Casting it at about 45 degrees, and as I'm jigging it back, I'm hitting that current break from the calm to the current at about 90 degrees. So I'm kind of just drifting down to here and then doing it again. And they seem to be here. I'm marking a lot of bait, which is probably why the fish are here. The last two spots I didn't mark any bait. So that's good. Sometimes you want to be with the bait. Sometimes if the fish are fed, you want to be maybe a little bit away from the bait. I don't know. It's kind of different ways to think about it, but we're on to some decent fish here now. So that's, I think we got 4 nice ones today, 2 over the slot, which is good. There we go. Another beauty little eater walleye. You know, when the slot is less than 15.7 and you get like a 13 incher, 13 and a half, that's an eater. That's an eater all day. I got 2 nicer ones. Throw this little guy in with them. Could have a nice little snack, little lunch of fish. Friggin' right. Beauty. So when it comes to fishing in the current, in the rivers, and in the streams, I think there's a few takeaways. One is boat control, right? Boat control is huge. 2, bottom contact. You need bottom contact. Watch your line, learn how to watch your line, and yeah, you will learn, if you learn how to watch your line, you will learn what bottom contact looks like in a river. And 3, I think in spots like this, especially in a river or big river, small river, I think the walleyes relate to that current a lot. So if you're not fishing the current and it's stagnant, warm water, you're probably gonna get a lot more bass and pike. You gotta fish spots. Now, like I'm fishing a lot of times like an eddy or some sort of structure right near the current, or even in this case, I'm casting into the current, bringing it through that current break, that edge. But you need to relate to that current. I think that's so big on rivers. The fish like the current. It brings nice cold, oxygenated water, bait. You know, you get in those back bays or islands or whatever, and the water's stagnant. Like you're gonna get the odd walleye, but they're gonna be in high percentage areas like this where you have current ripping around a point, drops off to like 20 feet, good spot, lots of rocks, and yeah, just gotta wait them out. Sometimes it takes a minute to learn a spot, figure out where the fish like to be related to that certain spot, but once you do, hunker down and just wait them out, because they're there.
Oh yeah, there's a beauty. Right on.
There we go, moved around a bit, came back to a spot that I started at earlier. There's another beauty, about a 22-inch walleye. Look at that, big old gold. Don't leave biting fish to find fish. They had kind of stopped for about half an hour and I moved for maybe half an hour. I thought, hey, I'm gonna hit this spot one more time. And look at that, beauty walleye.
Let her go.
Feels good to set the hook into something worth fighting. Not that those little ones aren't good, but I've caught a couple nicer ones today. Just makes it all worth it. Sometimes it pays off, you know, if you catch a few, they kind of quit biting, leave for half an hour and come back. You know, maybe you educated a couple fish and maybe they kind of quit biting for a minute, but they'll turn on again. You know, fish feed morning and night. Sometimes it's worth waiting them out. I fished the river before, and if it's overcast, sometimes they don't bite till 8 o'clock. When it's sunny, typically they're done by 8 o'clock. Well, we're going on 8 o'clock now and we're still catching fish, so I guess it goes to show patience is a virtue. All right, here we are back at the launch. Oh, the sun came up, got real hot, and yeah, the fish kind of just quit biting. But we had a wicked morning, slammed some fish, caught a few nice ones, can't complain. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned to the next one.